What's that, Skip? Shauno's talking about Supercoach again. Let's go. G'day everybody, it's Shauno again, and I'm back with some more Supercoach content. Today we're going to be doing our trade talk video for round 12. Yes, the first round of the buys. I'd love to have InSync's buy playing in the background, but YouTube probably wouldn't like that in the way of copyright. So you can just imagine in your head that they're singing that in the background. We thought we'd start on this disgusting home screen to see if you didn't watch my review video. Yes, it was a brutal one. Our lowest score so far this season, not including the former buys, and a massive rank drop. It really was a disaster, and I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to fix our disaster by our trades, but hopefully I can help you guys out if you're thinking about who to trade this week. So let's get into it. As usual, we'll go and do our who do we think are the best downgrades, who do we think are the best upgrades, and then what am I planning to do. Now, being the fact it's the buys and it's the first week of the buys, you probably shouldn't be trading too much. Let's just talk about this a little bit. This is not a time to be bringing in pretty much any premiums, because any premium you bring in will be having a buy. So this week, really, you should only be bringing in rookies for cash. If there are any rookies out there, we're going to have a look, but yeah, you shouldn't really be bringing in any premiums this week. You should either not be trading at all or bringing in rookies for cash and building up a little pile of cash for next week. So let's have a look with that in mind. Who are the rookies this week? Now, the cupboard is going to be pretty bare. I can tell you that right now. So, we want players preferably less than, say, 300k. We really want the bargain basements. Actually, I'm only really going to look at we'll go less than 300 in case there's one sneaky maneuver that I think some people might think about. So, obviously, Oscar McDonald's probably not coming back. He didn't come back when he had the opportunity. I think Voss has that spot. So, I don't think he'll be coming back. Unless he's to play for the Freo defender, was it Pierce, who has been rubbed out for 3 weeks, I think. I'm not too sure if they're going to appeal that. If you watch the game, I think they should appeal it. Absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, the gentleman's his eyes were on the ball. He didn't want to crunch him. They ran into each other, and he just happens to be a bit taller than the other guy. And he got him mostly in the chest, but just got him a bit, in the head as well. And he gets concussion, and he gets rubbed out for 3 weeks. I know they're trying to, rub out, damage, people who do concussions. They're really worried about this, but come on, if it's just in the play of the game, he didn't line him up. He never takes his eyes off the ball. I don't think it's dangerous play. That was just footy, and it was just very unfortunate that it happened like that. Anyway, so I guess he is a chance, but if he does come in, you wouldn't expect him to play for more than a few weeks. Campbell Gray. So here's the only one that I really think most people are going to be looking at. So he's bargain basement price, which is what we want. He's a defender forward DPP, which is probably going to be very handy. And he's got a negative 52 break even and predicted to go up 39k. So here we go. Now he got a 80 this week. Now I've actually got him in my other league in the normal fantasy. I've had him for a couple of weeks. I really think don't be expecting this 80 every week. The 40 is a lot more likely. And as you can see, he played in round 7, then didn't play for a couple of rounds, and now it's played in round 11. So if he's named next week, you can think about it. Now, his job security is probably low. Last thing I need, I don't know about you guys, is another non-playing rookie on my field, but I also desperately need cash. So during the best 18, maybe if we get a couple of rounds out of him, he might be the way to go. I think it's risky, but I don't see much else out there. And if you're like me, you might have to go there. So, but this 82, I think, is not going to be the norm. I think you better expect a 40 or a 50 more often than the 80. Who else we got? So last week, if you watched last week's trade video, Kane McAuliffe, I called it. I said, this guy could be a good, like a marriage type of buy where you get him. He was about 260, I think he was, and then he's gone up a little bit. So, but he seems to be almost fieldable. At 90, 90 and a 50, he seems to be kind of fieldable. And he hasn't jumped too much this week if you wanted to get on the bandwagon. He is playing midfield as an inside midfielder. Is his spot solid? I'm not too sure. Does it change when people like Short come back? I'm not too sure. But he did play well. He's got 290s and a 50. If he had jumped on him last week at 240, like I thought might be a good idea, you'd be pretty happy. At 287, I think he might be a little bit too much, unless you're thinking of some type of sneaky move, like maybe you think Sheasel's done in his new role and you don't want Sheasel anymore and you want to make some money and then put that money elsewhere. Maybe you could go like from Sheasel down to McAuliffe. And then, that sounds kind of crazy to me, but that would be a risky play. But maybe risk is the way you want to go at the moment. So I guess that is an option. Angus Sheldrick came out, played another full game. He did okay, I believe. What did he get? He got an 85, so he's gone 81 and 85 in his last two full games. Probably would have been great to get him last week. Went up, 40k this week. So at 190 would have been okay. Probably better than the choices that I made. But at 230, again, unless you were really confident that he was going to keep on playing, or you had a plan, a plan there for the next, keep him for a couple of weeks and then get rid of him, let him make some money, I'd be a little bit wary. Tom Lynch, no. Darcy Gardner, no. Sandy Brock, well, we still don't know what's happening with McGovern. I mean, potentially you can still get him, but 220 seems a bit high. I'm thinking there's it's a bit tricky this week and a bit tricky in the last few weeks when it comes to rookies. Are they going to play? Are they going to be subbed off? We just don't know. So paying up for a rookie that's going to definitely play seems like a viable option, but I don't know if we have any of those. So Lockie Keith, how did he do this week? Did he play this week? No, he's not the one I was thinking of. So Daniel Curtin, probably too much. Murphy Reed's too much now. He made his money. He had a very good week this week. If you watch the game, he was on fire. Kicked a beautiful goal. So he's doing very well, but he's made his money, and people like me, we've cashed out of him. I won't be buying back into him. Erasmus, he got a full game, I believe. He wasn't sub. He got a full game, and he got a 62. I mean, at 190... who knows, who knows if he's got the job security there. He's already been the sub a lot of times. If you're getting him, I think he's only a short-term project. Edward Allen, how did he go this week? An 82. So nice. Maybe he's played the last 3 rounds in a row. I think there is some midfielders to come back into that Collingwood midfield, so I'd be a little bit worried. I'd be definitely checking out the team sheets if you are thinking about him. I get a feeling there's always a chance he could be the sub or dropped once those other midfielders come back. Fonte's up to 210. How did he go this week? So all of these rookies are expensive, right? They're all expensive rookies, and they still don't have great job security. He's played the last 4 weeks, 50, 70, 29, 77. So he's still probably not going to make you enough money to make it worth your while, right? Predicted to go up 20k this week and only 6k the week after. So, I mean, I'm looking at you, Thomas Sims, the guy who I got last week, break even -6, 144. He's still probably cheap enough, but again, I'm not thinking that he's going to make you a lot of money. He's just going to be like a body on the field, and even then, I don't know how reliable that's going to be. The cupboard is very bare when it comes to rookies this week. I would understand if you don't want to trade this week. I would totally understand. There just doesn't seem to be anybody else. If you guys know any other downgrades, please let me know, because I would really like to know. Did he play this week? No, didn't play this week, and his scores aren't fantastic. So there's really no one that I can see this week. Boxall did get a chance, even though McRae was out. He was subbed as well. Travalia, I think, played but didn't do great. A 56. You'd have to wait for him to go a couple of weeks, and even then he's probably not going to go up that much. Also, a sub-risk as well. Yeah, I can't really see anybody at all, crew. Yeah, I think it's the cupboard is bare, as we say. So the only one that I'm considering is either one of these two boys, but I think they're still both kind of risky. But I kind of need the cash. Last thing I need is another 0 rookie on my field, especially after getting Gross last week. I need a big sign that says I hate Minnie McWalter for destroying my team. I guess I destroyed it, but it was his fault for naming him on field and in the centre and then playing him in the pocket. Wasted a boost. I wasted a boost to get him in, thinking he was going to play midfield and be reliable. Nope, not going to happen. So that's the downgrades. Now, upgrades, I don't really think you should be doing any upgrades this week. Wait till next week. There's so many Port Adelaide players and Bulldogs players we want. We want the Bont. I bought the Bont this week. As you can see, he's sitting there in the team. He looks nice in the team, but he won't be playing this week. I got him last week, and he's going to go down in value, so you can thank me very much for getting him in. Again, this was probably a mistake from me. I should have gone the value route, as I only have 34k in the bank, and I've got no rookies that have really made cash on the bench that I can substitute. So it's looking pretty bare. Let's go back and see. Yeah, for the upgrades, I don't think we'll go through upgrades. You shouldn't be bringing in any primos this week. But what we can do is have a look. Next week might be a time. If we're going to plan for next week, who might be available next week in the way of rookies that we can get? Well, Angus Clark, he had an awesome first game. Got 4 goals, I think, in his first game ever. Amazing, but he's not going to get 4 goals every week. We got a 97. If he could get a 50, I think he's one of the ones we might just have to take. We might just have to go there. It doesn't look like there might be much else out there. Kitty Colburn, I think I wasn't hugely keen on Kitty Colburn, but at his price, I might just have to get him. I don't think I'm going to get a full premium my team with the cash gen available and with the trades I've got available. So if you're like me, we might have to get Kitty Coleman and leave him in the back line and put up with it. If he gets 60s or 70s each week, we're just going to have to live with it, and hopefully he can regain some of that good form that he had a couple of years back, where he got a string of games where he was like the 80s and the 90s and the 100s. So maybe he'll find that form again. Will he be managed again? I don't know, maybe. Hopefully they just gave him a week's rest this week, and then he'll come back next week. And so even next week, you don't have to get him this week. We can wait a week and pick him up the week after next week if we want him, if he's named. Anybody else here in the way of rookies? Should we go for play less than 3 matches? Luke Pedler, there's Campbell Gray, who we talked about. Lewis Hayes, who's injured. I don't really see anybody for next week either. Callum Mills played a wing role. He didn't play in, and he was on limited minutes. I think he played about 60-something% time on ground, and he played a wing role. So he's not right back in the guts yet. Would have liked to see him put in the midfield. He still might be one other one. With how strapped we are for cash, we might just have to get him and pray that he goes back to that midfield role at some point. Are you guys seeing anybody else even for next week? I'm not even seeing anybody else for next week, so it could be a bit rough next week as well. If we have a quick look at the new DPP positions were released this week. So what about upgrades for next week? Filter, nope. DPP only. So the only one here which I think is relevant is Connor Rozee, and I don't see anybody else that jumps out and grabs me and says, hey, I'm a new DPP and you want to be in Shauno's team or anyone's team. I'm just not seeing anybody here who is, I think, worth a trade in. There's just nobody. Like, you don't want to be going down. We only want to be getting premiums in now, so the only premium type player that got DPP is Connor Rozee. So yes, he is definitely a target, but if you do look at the top defenders, he's not in the top 6 at the moment. Overall, he's in 7th, so he's very close. He's in 7th at the moment for under average. No, in average he's in 8th. But if we do the last 3 rounds, he's actually in 9th. And if we do over the last 5 rounds, he's also in 9th. So he's just outside those top 6. Could he be in the top 6 by the end of the season? I think he could be. If you've kept him from the beginning of the season, unlike me who traded him out, well done. And I think he's going to be very nice, especially with how we are doing with trades and money, just to swap him back there to your back line. Congratulations. I think that's going to be awesome for you. But yeah, I can't see anybody else there that seems relevant. Do you guys know any other of the new DPP players that are relevant? You can let me know. If you do, let me know down in the comments. And while you're there, you might as well hit that like button for the video and hit that subscribe button. So yeah, that's kind of it. There's not very much out there, but my best advice for this week is don't be trading in any premiums. Don't do any dumb stuff like I did last week by trading in Bontempelli the 1 week before his bye. For me though, I guess it wasn't too bad, even though it destroyed the flexibility of my team. If Bontempelli wasn't there, Hewitt would be there. So unless Hewitt has a magnificent game, which he hasn't yet, I'm probably only missing out on a 60 points or something like that, which might not even make the top 18. With my team, obviously, if we look at we'll quickly go through and set up my team how it's going to be. Unfortunately, Sard got injured, which means he's not going to be making any money. So here's the problem. So where's the money? So Cooper Simpson got injured. It seems pretty bad. He might be out for quite some time. So he hasn't got enough money to trade out. Sims is who I got in to get Bont. So he's making money, but I don't think he's going to make very much money. About 44, that's about as much as I can expect from him. Boyd's not making any money. Huswaite's not making any money. Caco's not making, or Caco's just doing Caco things, staying about there. Lindsay is beautiful. He's got 38 break even again. He can make some more money. Thankfully, he's doing it for us. As you can see, we got Gross in. We used a boost last week to get Gross in. It was kind of a disaster. I went through it in the trade video, but I'll tell you guys what happened again. So originally our trades were we got Bont and Sims, and we took out Hewitt. And who was the other guy that we took out? We can go up here to history and go to trade history. So we went McRae and Hewitt out, and we got in Gross, and so we got in Sims and Bontempelli. Then came Sunday. The team sheets for the Eagles game come out Sunday. About 15 minutes before the Eagles game, I look at the team sheets. Gross is not named as the sub. Noah Long's named as the sub. It was Tyler, the other gentleman, the other guy, the other small forward was named as a sub, he seems kind of good, so I think he was a bit Delaware, I think his name is, who seems quite good as a small forward, so I was quite surprised he was named as sub. But what I saw, which excited me, Tom Gross was named on the field in the centre. I'm like, wow, we saw what this kid can do a few weeks ago. He got 40 points in a quarter. They're going to give him a full game. They're going to put him in the centre. They're going to play him in his position of an inside midfielder. I'm like, he could get 80 points. He got 40 in a quarter. He could get 100 points. So not only did I buy him, I put him on the bench. And I used a boost to get him. I was like, with Simpson out, I'm going to need some cash gen somewhere. He can be a on-field playing cash gen player. And what happens? Oh no, the coach plays him as a small forward. Right in the pocket, and he gets 8 points and gets subbed out in the third quarter. Yeah, great idea. Put the kid on the field and play him in a position that's not his position. Of course, he's not going to do well. So not only did it cost me a trade, it cost me a boost, and he went down in money. He's a rookie that went down in money. A rookie that I bought in thinking he could be on-field playing and go up, and he'll probably get dropped this week after the coach has no idea where to play him, obviously. So that was an utter disaster, and yeah, there was not much I could do about it. I mean, if I kind of wish I didn't look at the team sheets and I would have had Lindsay on the field, I would have got an extra 50 points, and I would have saved a trade, and I would have saved a boost. Sometimes you can overthink it. I'm very much in the case of occasionally I overthink things, and I definitely overthinked it. I tried to do a tricky trade, and it turned out to be an absolute disaster. So anyway, who else we got this week? So we're going to have to play Kako, and we're going to have to play Gross, who I know my luck. He'll be dropped this week. I apologise for everybody else who's got him. He's going to get dropped because I got him in and wasted a boost to get him in. This is not going to matter. And here, Simpson's not going to be playing. We'll put him on. And we know Sard's not going to be playing. So I'm predicted to get a 1-8-6-7. That's going to be pretty rough. If we get that score, let's actually make the captain. That's going to make a difference, and we'll make the vice captain. That's who we talked about in our in our review video. I think we'll either go Brayshaw or Roberts into Gawn. Now, if you are out there and you don't have, who are some good choices for you guys? I'm thinking that if you've got Zach Merritt, he's a good choice. I'm also thinking about Zorko. I think is a reasonable choice. If you've got Lachie Neale or Dunkley, they could be good choices in the first round, in this first match, Thursday match. Friday match, you got Collingwood and Hawthorn. So I don't know if I'll be trying any Hawthorn players, but Collingwood, you could have a go at Dacos as your vice captain. I think that would be reasonable. Then on Saturday, the first match of Saturday, you've got Gold Coast and Freo. So if you've got a Brayshaw like me, you could probably got to go a Brayshaw. If you've got a Luke Jackson and Darcy's not played, I'd reckon a sneaky one would be go Luke Jackson. I would even try that. I think that could be your best option. If you have Luke Jackson, chuck a sneaky VC on him. And then with your captain, well, for me, it's pretty obvious. It's going to be Gawn. For me, no matter what, he's up against. Who is he up against? St Kilda's up against Rowan Marshall this week, so I assume Rowan Marshall will probably have another bad week, and Gawn will probably have a reasonably good week. If you don't have Gawn, Sherry's not there, so you don't have another dependable. It's really going to depend on what midfielders you've got. Further games, you've got GWS and Richmond, so maybe a Tom Green could be a bit risky. Sydney and Adelaide, maybe you'd want to try Jordan Dawson in that game. Maybe he gets a tag, maybe he gets the other the other Jordan's tag. Sydney Jordan, is that correct? He's the tagger for Sydney. Then Melbourne, I mean, if you don't have Gawn, I don't know if I did trust Petrarca as your captain. And then West Coast and Geelong, maybe that's a good one. You could chuck your captain on Bailey Smith, or even Holmes, a risky Holmes. I think Smith is probably the safer out of the two. Playing the Eagles, could have a big game. So you've got a few options there. I still think if you've got Gawn, lock him in as your captain. I don't think you could go past that. And if you've got Jackson, Freo, he's up against Witts though, so maybe that's going to be a tough matchup for him against Witts. I definitely wouldn't make him a straight up captain, but as a vice captain, maybe. But Witts is one of the more restrictive rucks in the league, and so like he's who Marshall played this week, and Marshall only got a 55. So I definitely wouldn't put a straight up captain on him, but as a sneaky vice captain, maybe. He's been absolutely killing it, and would have wished that Darcy wasn't in that team, because he'd be probably the first picked team member on my team. Okay, so this week my problems are we're losing money. Trainer was played forward and only got a 28. Along with Gross, the two coaches really screwed me over this week. We kept Trainer. We didn't think he would drop too much. He only had to get a 50, 60, and he would only drop a couple of thousand. Instead, he dropped, what did he drop? 20,000, I think he dropped this week. I think he went down 20,000. What a disaster. It's not like we don't need the money. We already wasted 19,000, and if he gets a 50, he'll go down 10,000. But what if he gets played as a forward again? He's not going to get 50 if he gets played as a forward. So, I mean, he might even get dropped. So, I don't know. I think I can't lose another 20k. Playing player or not, I mean, the 28 is hardly worth having him on the field. So, the only thing I can think of to do for me is maybe to get rid of him and get the other Richmond guy in. Now, this could easily blow up in my face. I can easily see this guy getting dropped in a week or so's time, this Campbell Gray guy. I really don't want to be playing him on the field after the buys, but what else do we have? That gives us 179,000 for the week after. Now, unfortunately, with my team planning for the week after, there's still not much we can do with that 179,000. I don't have any rookies here which I can go up to. I don't have any rookies over here where I can go up to. So even if I went like Cleary, traded him, that's still only 429,000, and I'm not getting anyone for 429,000. So my only plan is maybe I'm going to have to do something a little bit sneaky. Like maybe I'm going to have to get Kitty Coleman in for maybe someone who's not coming back, like Sard, or put Sard here in for Husway and spend 100k on Kitty Coleman just to get a playing fielder on the field. But unfortunately, then I'd also be buying in someone who's coming up on their buys. So I don't know if that's a great move either. I mean, the other thing, if we thought, this seems kind of crazy to me, but if we thought that Sheasel's role was going to stay in this forward role and he's not going to be scoring very well, he's also going to plummet in cash. 168. So if he gets another 50, he's going to lose 50k. He'll lose more than 50k. You predict to score 100, he's going to lose 27k. So if he gets 50 again, he's going to lose 50,000. So do we do something crazy? And, I could do it for the community. I'm sure if I traded him out, he'd get put in the back row and then he'd get to start scoring well again. But you just don't know where the coach is going to put him, which is very disappointing. Now, if I traded him, say, for that other Richmond dude, the McAuliffe guy, which again I think is super risky. At least we know Sheasel's going to play. We don't know that McAuliffe's going to play. We could do that, we would get an extra player this week and up into the buys, and then we would have 408,000 to spend next week, and we would be able to potentially go up from Cleary to a premium. We would need 250. So we probably still wouldn't be able to, and we don't want to sell Ashcroft just yet, but we might have to sell Ashcroft, to be honest. So if we had the 179 and we sold Ashcroft next week, we had 570, then maybe we could get ourselves a Rosie or a plan like that. We probably, how much is Butters going to be? Looked like he was going to have another down game this week, but in the end he actually came up. So he's 196, so we can't get Butters next week. He's going to have his bye this week, and then the week after you're going to have to let him play one more week. So we got 100, even though he was tagged, which is a good sign if he can still get 100 when he's tagged. If he gets 100 the week after, he'll go down 40k. So he'll be down at 540. So Butters, you really want to plan for not next week after the game, but the week after. And then obviously you'll be looking at Bont around those times too, which at least I already have Bont. So maybe could I afford him now? I'm not going to buy him now, but I can't afford him now, but maybe next week and the week after I could afford him for a Levi Ashcroft. But I don't really. So there's a lot of problems here, crew. I don't have enough premiums, I don't have enough cash, and I don't have enough trades. So I wonder if you're in the same boat as I am. I know a lot of people out there are. I think as for my buys go, we're okay. As if we look at this week, round 12, we're going to have, if Reed plays, we will have 5. If Reed doesn't play, we're only going to have 4 in the back line. We will have a full midfield, unless Gross has dropped, which he probably will be, only 1 ruckman, and then a full forward line and our flex. So we've got plenty of players. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you only need 18 and the top best 18, and we've got 21. And it will be 20 if Reed is not playing. So we got coverage. We have more than 18. We're not predicted to get a great score. We're predicted to get 1991, which isn't going to be that great. But we're going to have to live with it. I don't think we will, unless we have another disaster like we did this week. Hopefully we don't drop too many spots. If we're a bit lucky, maybe we gain a few spots. And then over the buys, I think it's going to be the same, being top 18. We're all going to stay, pretty close to our current ranking, maybe drop a few K, maybe stay a bit even. But then coming after the buys, I just don't think we have the cash gen or the money to do anything too special to get our team up. Getting rookies off the field is going to be very hard, and especially with the lack of rookies coming along. So I believe the mid-season draft is in round 13 or at the end of round 12, between round 12 and 13. And so hopefully there's a few 99k rookies that look like they're going to play. I mean, I know the Eagles have got the number 1 pick being in last position, so hopefully they can pick up someone who they want to actually put on the field and, give them a chance. And a few other teams, maybe North Melbourne or Richmond, a few of the other teams that are quite low down the ladder, maybe they're going to find a rookie in the mid-season draft that they kind of need and will play. Anyway, crew, I don't think there's much else to go through. As you say, the options aren't that great. If you've got any better suggestions than me, I am all ears. Please tell me, because I need them. Leave a comment down in the comments down below who you think is a good trade in. Like I said, please don't be trading in any premiums. It's not the week to do it. Just wait till next week and get some of those Port Adelaide and Western Bulldogs guys. It's going to... you're just asking for trouble to do it the other way around. It's just not necessary. It's basically a wasted trade, and you're going to cost your team some points. should definitely only be trading down if you can find a downgrade at all. So thank you very much for watching the video, and hopefully I'll talk to you all soon. We'll probably be back with a live video later on in the week, so keep an eye out for that one. And yeah, I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll speak to you all soon. See you later. Take it away, Skip.